started out as just a simple project to add a removable rear apron with no cutouts. Turns into a bit of a nightmare and some major surgery because the back outriggers were pretty rotten. They've been welded and patched and God knows what, which was surprising. Because actually the rest of the car is really rather good. I mean, it's had a patch, we've had a patch put in here, but whoever done it's done a nice solid job. I'm going to grind that back and dress it up a bit. And there's a couple of little bits here that need doing. And this is all solid. But the outriggers that support the rear apron, you can see that one, they've been patched up and they're rotten. And when I started cutting it away, it was just literally falling apart. So it's like, okay, so something's got to happen. So we're going to replace them along with the rear apron. So we'll get a whole new rear end, which would be nice. First of all, I've never done this before. I'm an engineer by trade, I'm not a welder. I'm not a fabricator or anything like that. But I do like to have a go at things because it's the only way you learn. You get the pleasure at the end of a project knowing that you've done all the work and not paid someone extortionate amounts of money to do it. So, this is my plan. Quick mask up. Right. Replacement panel. That came from Cool Air. And it's nice, it's really heavy gauge material, that. So I've got two of those. And I ordered them yesterday, they came today. I did pay for express delivery because I wanted to get on with it. But yeah, very good. I've still got a lot to cut out of here, but all I'm going to do at the moment is just mark out where I'm going. So there's the old bolt, so I'm going to shove that in there like that. Didn't see that. There's another hole there. That lines up. So, with that in mind, put that like that. So, got a line here. It's not sitting completely flush yet because of all this stuff down here. Something's binding it up. There's a lump there as well that's got to come out. But that gives me a rough idea of where I'm going to weld. Not where I'm going to cut, where I'm going to weld. So I'm going to come inboard of that. So this bit here is the inside. Let's get a light on that. Like that. So yeah, you can see how bad the rust is. It's only surface rust there, but down at the extremes it was actually rotten. So the rest of the car's good. So I've got to cut this piece off. I need to leave that lip. There's a lip there. This has got a return on it. Comes out. I need to leave that lip there, and that's spot welded on at the moment. Now I could drill out the spot drills, the spot welds, but I can't actually see where they are. It's not very clear, so I think what I'll do is I'll cut across the top to where I need to cut, get rid of this section, then I can grind that back to this piece, because this piece is going to weld to the inside of the panel. Like that. I've cut this section out. I've left that hole, which is one of the wing bolt holes, and this hole here, which is for wires. I've left those in at the moment for reference because they're the only reference I've got to the position of this at the moment. See what I mean? So although they'll be cut out eventually, I'll leave them for now. They're not doing any harm. And this bit needs chopping off. This is where the inner support comes in with the return. I've got to try and cut that off and split it away from the inner return, which is not going to be easy, but we'll have a go. Okay, so first mock up, nothing's welded in, it's just hanging there and clamped in at the moment. I've lined up the bolt hole, one of the wing bolt holes through here onto the panel, that's holding it on at the moment. This hole here, which is the bigger hole, I don't know, it's about 18 mil, that's for the wiring, which is quite useful at the moment to hold that on. So the rest of this is all cut out from the other side, and I've just popped the valance on and roughly lined it up where it should sit from where I cut it before, which is on this edge here. So if I push that up a little bit like that, so you can see the holes, they're not a million miles out, the holes, they are there. And bearing in mind this panel is sitting on this edge at the moment, so this bit's got to be cut out, and it will drop down a couple of millimeters, which should just bring that down, I would have thought, but it looks pretty good. Get a view of the other side again, that lined up pretty good. I've done exactly the same on that side, so there we go. It looks pretty good. I think the next job to do will be put the wings on, and then I can check the alignment, make a few more marks so I know where I am. That's the inner shelves, if you can see them. I could replace those, I think they're about 36 quid down Heritage, but it would mean cutting all this out and welding all in there. I don't think I need to. They're pretty solid. There's a couple of pinholes in the one on the other side, but they're pretty solid. They're not bad at all, really. So I don't see much point in replacing them. The one on this side's got there's a few little pepper holes in the top here, and the top flange is gone. But I think I'm just going to plate that. I'll put a little plate and an angle up there, and then that'll weld to the new panel. Wings are on, loosely bolted on, just to give me a visual. And as you can see, I've got a good line up there, that edge, to line up nice and evenly with the wing. Same on this side, and a good line up there. So that tells me that the rear valance is good. So I've got to set up the bumper mounts. I'm not running bumpers, so bumper alignment's not an issue for the actual bumper mounts themselves, but I would like the inner wings to line up nicely with the outer wings for the bolt holes. Now we're all fitted up, ready for welding. I had a change of plans. Originally I was going to do a lap joint, so one went under the other and then weld both sides. But looking at a few YouTube tutorials, this seems to be the way to go, is to do a butt joint. I've got these little clamps which pull it all in nice and tight. I've got a nice little joint. Took a lot of time cutting it carefully, measure it, cut it, measure it, cut it. I'm quite happy with that. I've done a test fit. I've put the wing on. The wing lines up with the holes. Although it's only a fiberglass wing, so I can't guarantee how accurate it is, but it certainly lines up with the holes. It lines up with this edge here. Looks quite nice. Fits in the corner there. The rear valance, I fitted that. That sits quite nice. That lines up with the holes for the bolts. So I think it's all ready to go. Inside, it's all been cleaned up and sprayed up. This has got to be welded along here to join the shelf, as I'll call it, the shelf, to the inner wing, to this bit here. That'll give it a strength and stability. So the next job is welding. So wish me luck. Yeah, it's taken a while to get to this stage, but I'm quite happy with that. Just hope my welder doesn't blow too many holes in it. Let's give it a bash. Yeah, you really tightened up the joint, it just pulled it right in. So you will see a decision had been made. A new panel is going in. I think this is called the, what's this called? The engine bay side tray, right hand side. I was going to patch this one up, but it's just too far gone. I've got to weld all this up and put this back on. So it seems pointless to weld it to a crappy bit of metal. So I'm going to cut that out, vet that new section in, and then weld the new side panel on for the bumper mount on this side. That side's done. That side was really good, really solid actually, that side. Strange. And we're all welded up. It's looking good. Pleased with that. Never done something like this before, so we live and learn. It's the only way to get any good at stuff is to have a bash it out, I guess. Right, so today's task is to get this prepped up in weld through primer, drill some little holes along that top edge, ready to plug weld it in, which would be where the spot welds would normally go. Cut this section out, cut this piece out here, weld this piece on like I did the other one, and Bob's your uncle. That's my plan for today. we have wings. Look at that. So the wings are loosely bolted on, just for a test fit. The inner shelf is now welded in. That went all right actually. I cut it out before I welded this on because it made life easier to get that section out. And then once I got this, clamped it up and fitted this panel, clamped it all together, and then welded that panel, and then come back and welded that one. Needs a little bit of dressing up on the welds, but other than that, it's all right. So the two sides now match again. I'm glad I've done that because it was rotten, the one that was in there, so that's all nice and new. The spacer, the wooden spacer, is what it says, is a spacer just to keep the wings, the inner wings, at the right distance. It's slightly pushing them out at the moment, which is good. It suits me. So the next thing I'm going to try and do is do a quick test fit. Let's put that camera up there, man. Let's zoom in a little bit, shall we? There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Right. Then we're going to do a bit of a test fit of the rear apron. It should. Go, we're in. There we go. I'm back. All right. So, there's the apron. Not too bad, not too bad at all. They're lining up quite nicely on the bottom here. I've got a bit of work to do around here. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that yet to tidy that up. And this side is slightly springing in. So this kind of wants to go that way slightly, and that wants to go that way slightly. So I think it's pulling here. Or it's pushing back, one or the other. So that needs a little bit of tweaking just to get that back over. The deck lid's going to cover all this anyway, so you're not going to see it anyway. But the idea is you can remove the deck lid. I'm not doing it so you can just pop it in and off. It's going to be bolted in, but if I ever want to take the engine out, I can just unbolt it, take it straight out, make life a little bit easier. The only other issue I have thus far is the rubber seal, engine seal. For some reason, this panel, which come from Heritage, is, I don't know, it's about 18mm lower, the seal, than the standard. This panel fits up to 79, so possibly, let's see it there, this right underneath this slot. So possibly, maybe they lowered that later on the Mexican bugs, I don't know. So I might have to drill the spot drills out of this and raise that up, because I do want to put the engine seal on, especially on a Wizard, because you want to keep it cool. Stop the heat coming back into the engine. But other than that, there we go. Tickety boo. Happy days. Nearly there. Day 3. So, plan for today. I don't know if you can see, but there are a few little pinholes to address in the welding. There, a bit of daylight coming through there. And then it'll all be pretty good. I've still got some work to do here with this section. I think I'm going to have to alter this slightly to match the panel that I've got. That's okay, we can do that, easy enough. Yeah, crack on. back, wire brush back, ready for a bit of paint. I'll put a very thin coat of filler here, just don't really need it, just to tidy it up a little bit. I mean, no one's going to see this, is all inside the inner wing, but I'll know it's there, and it fills any little pinholes that are left remaining. So yeah, ready for a bit of paint now. Just a bit of etch primer. Day 3, or is it day 4? Oh, I can't remember, I'm getting lost. 1970 bug is itching to go out. It's a glorious day, look at the sun, but we're stuck in here for now. So what are we up to today? Now, the valance is fitting nicely. We're working on this area today. I've done a little bit earlier, so that pops off quite nice. Earlier on, I realised that this side was not as big as this side. So I've had to let in a small piece of steel in there. It looks pretty messy, but it'll dress up, I'm sure. I let a little piece in there to widen that, to give me more of a lip. And the same on that side. And what I've done, I've positioned the rear apron where I want it to be, and I drilled through 2 3mm holes. Now my plan is, zoom in on that one. My plan is to weld a M6 screw on nut on the back of this on the inside, maybe even an M5, and then the apron will bolt through into that to locate it every time. You won't see that because the deck lid on the Wizard comes right down here. It covers the wing. You won't see any of this. So there's plenty of room for the screws, but it will locate it every time I put it on or take it off. It'll locate it in the perfect position. So that's where we are today. So yeah, just got a bit of work to do. Clean this up, tidy this edge up here, make a better fit. This edge's not too bad. I've rolled this edge over slightly as well, just to match up to the lip on the apron. Give us a nice even match. Same with that side. Tap that down. Right, let's dress it up. My M5 bolt and nut are in. I've just got to tack that nut. That's got it. wondering what welder I'm using, it's the Reboot RBM 2500. Nice little compact little welder which I picked up off Amazon. The settings I've got it on at the moment, it is Synchro MIG, which is, it automatically works out what it's doing somehow, I don't know. I've got this dial which is the voltage or amperage at 13, wire feed at 31, gasless MIG, and it's 0.8 wire, and I'm running a positive earth. You can swap these two over so you can go negative or positive for the earth. This seems to work. Those settings seem to work for me. I don't know whether they're the right settings, but I've been playing around with this thing for quite a while now, and these seem to work, so I'm not going to change it for now. If anyone knows any better, what might help improve the welding, let me know. Just reattached the trim for the engine seal on the rear apron. It's now in the position where it should be, so it should line up with that piece, so you can run the rubber seal round. Alrighty, we're pretty much done here. It's looking good. It all fits up nice. So we're bolted up the rear apron. We've got our location screws. I've tidied up this area there, so we've got a nice fit there. So pleased with that. Come over to this side. That side's the same. All lines up quite nice. Sits relatively flush. It's all covered up by the deck lid anyway. The engine bay itself has all been sprayed up. I've done that in this product, which is Raptor anti-corrosive epoxy primer, which is a 2-pack primer. It's got a little, hit it with this little red button on the bottom, and it injects the hardener into the product, which is supposed to be really good. Hopefully it is, because it's 22 quid a can. But there you go. So the engine bay's all done, painted up. The channel for the engine rubber seal now lines up. It's the same height, whereas before this was sitting down there. So it can run the engine seal round. The engine seal is basically that thing. It's a big strip of that, and that sits in that groove, and you just feed it through, and it seals up the engine, stops all the heat coming back in from the exhaust. It looks good. Really pleased with that. It's been hard work, a few days. I've learnt a lot. I've learnt how to use the welder a bit better. I'm still no expert, and I don't claim to be. But I got there in the end. It's the only way you learn is to have a bash at it. It's pretty good. So to remove the rear apron, all I have to do is take the M5 cap heads out. I might change them, I might put dome heads on, I don't know. You won't see it with the deck lid covered. Release the 4 wing bolts, just slacken them off a bit, and the whole unit just slides straight out. And you've got full access to the engine bay. Still a bit of work to do to this panel. It's still a virgin panel before it's painted. So quite a bit to do to that. So I haven't painted that. I've just taken off the coating that they send it in, because the black stuff they send it in is just a shipping coating. You cannot spray over the top of it, because it'll just peel straight off, so you've got to strip it back. So that's been sanded back to where it needs to be. So yeah, it's looking good. Been a good project, enjoyed it, learnt a lot. So thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, like, maybe subscribe, who knows, I might do some more. I might do some more videos on the Wizard project. She's looking good. Cheers.